You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Bold and the Beautiful fans. It's Soap Dirt on YouTube. We want to talk about a whole bunch of stuff that's leaking out about the Bold and the Beautiful location shoot in Italy. There are a bunch of pictures coming out, and based on the limited number of B&B cast members there, people have been wondering if Brooke and Ridge might be getting married in Italy. And as far as we can tell, they are not, but that doesn't mean that this trip to Italy is not very Brooke and Ridge centric. There's been a bunch of little clips from various interviews that the actors have done, and then there's been little behind the scenes videos that have leaked that fans have taken shots of in big areas where they can't keep the crowds back. So these are all very interesting, and we're going to share some more tidbits from you about this exciting Italy trip where Ridge and Brooke are definitely going to reignite their romance, and it's very exciting, and Taylor Hayes is nowhere in sight if you were wondering. If you haven't already, reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, casting news, updates, everything you need to know about your favorite CBS soap opera. So one of the interesting little videos we saw today was Carter and Ridge at this very famous, it's this iconic green door, and it is set in a piazza on Aventine Hill, and there is this keyhole that you can peek through. That's what people do. They line up to peek at the view through this little keyhole in this gigantic set of green doors. And Carter's standing there with Ridge. Ridge peeks through the door, and then he goes running off. Now, realistically, what you see when you peek through that doors is you see gardens of this, I think it was a monastery that was at one point run by the Knights Templar. It's crazy. And it gives you this perfect view of gardens and St. Peter's Basilica. And Ridge bends down, he looks through there, and then he goes running off. I have to speculate that even though those gardens are not generally accessible to the public, either they got permission to film there, or when he peeks through, they're going to have a scene that was filmed perhaps somewhere else. But I'm betting he is going to see Brooke Logan based on all the spoilers coming out about this Italy trip, and we're going to talk about this some more. So it's very interesting. One of the Italian interviews was Catherine Kelly Lang talking with a local Italian news outlet. She obviously has a translator there because they ask her the question in Italian. She answers in English. They do their thing. So Catherine Kelly Lang is talking about why everybody is in Rome, Italy. And she says Brooke came to support Hope, Ridge came to support Thomas, and it is a Forrester Creations event. And then some of the other behind the scenes footage was Hope and Brooke in these fancy dresses. We have to assume they're from Forrester Creations, maybe the Hope for the Future line, but Brooke is in this really pretty kind of peachy number, and Hope had a couple of different dresses on. One that's this floral strapless that's really floaty and cool, and then there was another where it almost looks sort of like a wedding dress. Like it had these almost kind of Roman, which isn't, based on where they are because they're in Rome. She has like this kind of a leaf little garland in her hair, and then these gauzy little drapes over her dress. It looks very toga-esque, but stylishly so. It's hard to explain, but it's very cool. So this is a Forrester Creations work trip. And what's interesting is most everybody there is associated with Forrester Creations, except for Spare Tire and Seventh Wheel, Liam Spencer. Yep, Liam is there. So Thomas Forrester is there, Steffi Forrester is there, Brooke Logan is there, Hope Logan is there, Ridge Forrester is there, Carter Walton is there, and Liam? Yep, Liam. Liam is there also. So this is clearly some kind of Forrester Creations event. So I'm just guessing at this point that this trip and nobody beating each other up has to mean that Hope and Thomas haven't consummated anything by then. Otherwise, they would have had to have gotten to that point by the time of this shoot, and then, it fizzles out, which that's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about, is that this Thomas and Hope plot is going to fizzle out. It's not that I necessarily want them to be together, but I'm tired of them writing it as this tease thing. It's like, do it or don't. As, my grandma said growing up, poop or get off the pot. And I'm kind of tired of Brad Bell sitting on the pot and not pooping. Great analogy. So the bottom line is all Forrester Creations people and Liam. Okay. However, he and Wyatt were talking about some app they wanted to develop that they were going to make $1 gazillion off of, that was going to curate influencer stuff in the fashion world, something like that. Maybe he's got some flimsy business excuse to be over there. My feeling is that there's no way that Liam could sit still and let Hope go to Italy on a work trip where Thomas was and not go completely berserk if he was left behind in LA. So I'm guessing that Hope has to let him come along. Maybe Donna gets to babysit all the kids while they're gone, because Liam would be a big baby if he was left home. So, side note, while I don't necessarily have an investment in Thomas and Hope, wouldn't it be great if Hope just told Liam to go? All right, I'm sorry. I just don't like Waffle Boy that much. So I'm all fine with her getting a new guy, just, not Waffler. All right. So other things that was happening, Catherine Kelly Lang was asked if she can imagine Bold and the Beautiful without Brooke and Ridge. And Miss Lang said, not really. They've been a couple since pretty much the very beginning. Still, they have destiny somehow. Even when they're not together, they're still tied together. It'll always probably be like that. One of the nice things about Brooke and Ridge not being together is I don't have to hear destiny every day. And then they started it again where RJ just asked his mom, is he still your destiny? Well, of course he is. And then, interesting also, Ridge Forrester actor Torsten Kay was asked Brooke or Taylor, and he said Brooke, but he kind of made this scowl and kind of shook his head. He has said in some other interviews that he would love to see Ridge get a new romance, that he was very interested in pursuing when Denise Richards was on the show, and he was very interested in her character, but that didn't happen. He likes the dynamic with Taylor. That didn't happen. So I wonder if he was told how to answer this question, or he realizes that his fate is sealed, and that's bridge is all that he is going to get, because the face he pulled when he said it was very interesting. So we will have to see, but that was his answer. So it looks to me as if it's a business trip, but then the undertone of the trip is Brooke and Ridge really restarting their romance. There is some behind the scenes footage of them kissing passionately, of them walking around hand in hand. So Italy is definitely all about the Brooke and Ridge reunion, and we'll have to wait and see what the dynamic is between Hope and coworker Thomas and the husband, that maybe it's bring your husband to Italy to work day. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Hey, click that subscribe button if you haven't already so you don't miss any of our updates, news, and spoilers for B&B on CBS Daytime. Tell us in the comments, are you excited to see a lot of the cast over in Italy for this shoot? How interesting do you find it that Taylor Hayes isn't there? And that, to me, is a signal that by the time they go to Italy, that the pact is broken, because Brooke had been sticking to it. Brooke has been being good, but now she's really starting to realize, with some insight from RJ and some other people, that this pact might not be what she wants long term, even though she went into it with her eyes open and with the best of intentions.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.